consider the possibility that the Indiana Fever are in on the plot to destroy Caitlin Clark. Stephanie White is an idiot, should be fired.
Indiana Fever supporters are sick of being polite. They've been patient enough. Furthermore, there is a desire that is currently growing in popularity on social media. Get Stephanie White out and Larry Bird.
Cash cow. She is box office. When she plays, the ratings go up, revenue goes up, interest goes up. When she doesn't play, it plummets. 36% drop in the ratings for All-Star Weekend for the WNBA a few weeks ago. Last year, she didn't miss a game. This year, she missed 17 games. This is a person that everything she touches with women's basketball turns to gold. They didn't have charter jets until she arrived. She arrived, they had charter jets 2 minutes late.
Now, before you accuse me of being too dramatic, remember that this is not a novel argument. There is a lot of frustration with this team. There are genuine issues about how Caitlin Clark, perhaps the most important player in women's basketball right now, is treated, used, and, to be honest, valued within this organization. Once you've put everything out, you might discover that you agree with every single one of them. Let's begin now. What exactly is going on? Why are Fever fans so angry? Most importantly, is Larry Bird a genuine possibility?
Indiana Fever fans, so let's keep it real, let's keep it 100 like I'm being frank, you hear me? So let me ask y'all again, is Stephanie White a good coach, a great coach? I'm waiting. No, she not even close. If anything, she puts a star in the offense. She's sucking the life out of the team, out of the franchise. And Kelly Krostoff, whatever her name is, Lynn Dunn, you hear me? They all need.
If you have recently been in close proximity to Fever content on the internet, you are fully aware of the temperature. Supporters are passionate. This time, the trigger is a pattern. Supporters believe that since Stephanie White took over as coach, this tendency has persisted. It's a simple belief. Stephanie White's squad does not revolve on Caitlin Clark. And from the standpoint of her supporters, that is the only thing she needs to do.
The sole reason, period. I'm tired of people saying, oh, it just happened. It was just a coincidence. Oh, it was already trending up. Let's just even look at this chart behind us. These are all the years in the past, 12, 13 years? And that's 500K. These numbers, for the most part, weren't even close to 500K. When Caitlin comes, look at what happens. Don't tell me Caitlin ain't the reason. Caitlin is the reason why they just got that money they just got. Caitlin is the reason why they staying in amazing hotels. Caitlin is the reason why they getting all the stuff that they got. All the charting the flights. Literally, Caitlin is.
To understand why this is so crucial right now, you must remember what the Indiana Fever are. This team hasn't won championships in decades. This team lacks talent at every position. The entire present and future of this team is built on Caitlin Clark. She's the reason the arenas are packed. She is the reason why the TV ratings look the way they do. The Fever is even being considered as a potential contender because of her. Fans know this. The league wants to know if Stephanie White is aware of this.
Number one priority was to land Kelsey in free agency again. Just how important was she to your team this year? How important has she been to the Fever? Obviously, the 8 years she's been with the franchise, and how badly do you want to keep her around?
I mean, yeah, she was the number one priority a year ago, and she's the number one priority this year. She's been so important. And, I said this last year, Kelsey deserves to go through this stage of her Indiana Fever career. She's been through sort of the worst of the worst, for lack of a better term, in and out of the building, growing pains with getting the organization back. You don't get back-to-back number one picks unless you've been at the bottom for a while, right? And she's showed up like a pro every day, and she just continues to work and continues to grow, and she carried the franchise, and she carries the teams in different ways, and she deserves.
At this point, the frustration really got out of hand. Stephanie White has stated publicly that Kelsey Mitchell is essential to her objectives for this Indiana Fever club. To be clear, nobody is saying that Kelsey Mitchell isn't a good player. She scores a lot of points. She is worthy of a role. But as soon as you start building the offense around Kelsey Mitchell's needs instead of the athlete who just made a comeback from injury, won an MVP award abroad, and is the co-favorite to win the WNBA MVP award in 2026, you lose the chance.
Right, there appears to be major decisions ahead of the Indiana Fever front office, Amber Cox, Kelly Krauskopf, and head coach Stephanie White. And the truth be told, we don't trust any of them based on the blunders that they made last offseason. And it appears Indiana Fever might make the crucial mistake, and maybe it's not even a mistake on their end. Stephanie White has already come out and said how Kelsey Mitchell is the #1 priority and how she wants to build this team around Kelsey Mitchell. And if they are committing to giving her a multi-year max contract, they've officially chose Kelsey Mitchell over Caitlin.
Fans can't get over this. Prior to the start of the 2026 season, decisions are already being made that seem to suggest Clark will have to fit within a system rather than be its leader. Fans watched the results of the FIA tournament in Puerto Rico, where Clark managed the offense, handled the ball primarily, and had total autonomy. She was in command. She was incredible. And when she returned, the oddsmakers immediately named her a co-favorite for WNBA MVP. That is how Clark appears when she is completely trusted and allowed to breathe. Therefore, when Stephanie White declares that Kelsey Mitchell is a primary priority while Clark is returning from an 8-month rehabilitation, fans are more than just annoyed. They're asking a serious question. Is this coach aware of her true abilities?
Or whatever in this league, that there's still so much in her. And I tell her every day, like, I love being her coach and I want to.
Okay, I don't see it as building a team around Kelsey Mitchell, but I just don't like her words because it does sound like, oh, we gotta give her the chance to lead the team and stuff like that, and like it's a rite of passage, like it's a born right or something for her. Lady, the reason why you came to the Fever wasn't because of Kelsey Mitchell, ding dong. The main reason why you came to the Fever is because of Caitlin Clark. Let's keep it a buck. That's the same thing with Kelly Krauskopf and all these goons like Amber Heard and all them jokers all came for Caitlin Clark. If Caitlin Clark was not there, would she flock to the Indiana Fever after the Connecticut Sun run? No, she wouldn't. So stop this nonsense about priority this, priority that. Okay?
To understand the origin of this anger, you have to go back to 2025. Caitlin Clark played in 13 games during the previous season. 13. In those 13 games, she averaged 16.5 points, 8.8 assists, and 5.0 rebounds. When she was playing, the Fever were a different team. The structure exudes a certain liveliness. The offensive had a pulse. She then collapsed. She struggled with a left quad strain, a left groin strain, a right groin strain, and a left ankle bone bruise that she claimed was one of the worst ankle sprains she had ever had. She eventually watched from the sidelines as the Fever's incredible run to Game 5 of the WNBA semifinals continued. She must have been upset that she wasn't playing even though she was supporting her teammates. Sports injuries happen these days. Stephanie White is not being held personally accountable for the injuries. However, this is the point at which things get difficult and fans begin to take notice.
With Caitlin, but, I think first and foremost, as she builds up her endurance, her on-the-court activity, making sure that she's healthy, and then continuing to move forward in terms of mechanics, number one, and number two, basketball. She's got to, at some point in this off season, play 5-on-5. It's going to have been a long time since she has, and so how we get that together, we'll have to see. We'll continue to have those conversations, but once she's feeling good from a movement standpoint, from a soreness standpoint, and then building back that endurance on the floor without losing some of those mechanical tweaks and mechanical improvements, then we'll start building back up.
Throughout the 2025 season, White was regularly questioned regarding Clark's health management. Her answers were always measured and professional. She recommended taking things one step at a time. She talked about protecting Clark's long-term health. She talked about not rushing things. And again, when considered separately, those are the right answers. You shouldn't rush a player back. That is the essence of coaching, yet fans perceived it differently. Even though Clark was available and returning, they saw a situation where she seemed to be handled with a great level of caution that occasionally felt like hesitancy. Would the strategy be the same if this were the star player for any other team? They questioned themselves. When you only play 13 games a season, and the team around you makes it to the semifinals, you start to wonder what would have occurred if the star had been better protected from the start, managed more prudently throughout the season, and built around more strategically from day one.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Now's not the time. Now's not the time for random side quests and adventures and side gigs, okay? We need everybody all in, 100% focused on the task at hand. We need everybody paying attention to details, being detail-oriented, and getting it right. Stephanie White, we don't have time for these random side quests that you are now doing right before the season is about to start. It's already a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of catch-up to be done to build this team up around Caitlin Clark, to make the right decisions in this offseason, one starting with the critical Kelsey Mitchell decision, draft decisions, and you are running around doing side quests now.
It may have gone unnoticed by casual fans, but Fever's devoted devotees did not. Throughout the 2025 season, Stephanie White made several decisions to test Clark at small forward. Caitlin Clark's job limited her ability to scan the floor, lead an offense, and be the main ball handler, skills that form the basis of her entire game. Furthermore, the data supports what supporters saw with their own eyes. You can't average 8 assists each game at the small forward position. Games won't be affected if you play from a position where the ball hardly ever hits your hands. Clark is most valuable when she is the primary decision-maker, the offensive revolves around her, and she is the engine. It's not a preference. That's precisely what the evidence shows. Whether Clark was given that position in college, in international competition, or in the few WNBA games where she had total authority, the result has always been the same. Because Caitlin Clark is so amazing, fans want to see that version of her every night.
Was any precursor to what Caitlin Clark is going to do in year 3? You know what? I don't blame Brianna Stewart, Brianna Turner, Nafisa Collier, Aneka Ogwumike if they say themselves, we can't get beat like this. This girl is coming for revenge. She's coming with a chip on her shoulder. It's going to be a reckoning. As my mom would say, it's going to be a rude awakening. Year 3 with a healthy Caitlin Clark. I wouldn't have known she took 200 days to recover. I wouldn't have known the last time that we saw Caitlin Clark play basketball was what? July? I'd have no idea. This was a master class.
What Fever followers have been saying was perfectly exemplified by the FBO America competition. Clark was the greatest player on the court as soon as he returned to a competitive international situation following an 8-month absence. She was given the role of point guard. She was given the ball. She was not the subject of any experiments. She wasn't made to play a smaller role to accommodate someone else's shot volume. She earned International National MVP after being granted permission to be Caitlin Clark. She became a co-favorite for the 2026 WNBA MVP award as a result, according to the odds makers. That competition was one direct data point. It proved to the world that Clark was back. It proved that her injuries had not caused her to lose anything. For lovers of Fever, it also revealed something different. That when Clark is the primary focus, everything functions. The question now is whether Stephanie White saw what everyone else saw.